League Championship, third place finisher. And on the right of your screen, of course, Sebastian Enrique. We just talked about he won the Oceania International Championships this year. He won a regional this year. He has plenty of great finishes. Let's take a look at Naohito playing that Buzzmole Lycanroc deck.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty straightforward mirror match here, but you see that record of 8-0-1. Like you said, the first seed coming into this top 8, looking to continue his dominance on this tournament all weekend. And one of the cards he actually pointed out is that new Regirock from Celestial Storm, making a big impact in this Buzzmole Lycanroc deck.
Yeah, definitely. It will be interesting to see if Naohito can keep it up 8-0-1. Will he become the world champion undefeated, or will his opponent, Sebastian, on the right of your screen there, be able to dethrone him? Let's take a look at what Sebastian has done in his short Pokemon career.
Yeah, like we said before, 2018 Oceania International Champion, first place at St. Louis Regionals, and then a top 16 at the European Internationals, and then a top 8 at the Hartford Regionals as well.
Again, Sebastian is playing that same deck. He is also undefeated, not quite as many points with 7-0-2, but still has not taken any losses. One of these players will be taking their first loss in the finals of the biggest tournament of the year.
Yeah, and a little more info. Naohito actually finds the time to balance a pretty active life of gymnastics along with Pokemon. Hasn't really gotten to play much Pokemon this year, but has found himself at the biggest stage of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. The superstar from Japan hoping to take a world championship victory back home. We know the players have their headsets on. You can see them shuffling. They're getting ready. They're playing the Buzzmole Lycanroc GX Mirror. What does that look like, Jeremy? How do you think this is going to turn out? Is there anything in their list that is going to give one player an edge over the other?
So honestly, I think this is pretty much as close to a 50-50 matchup as you can get. No real big differences, although we do see Naohito playing the Fighting Fury Belt just to give himself a little extra HP. And that's probably what it's going to come down to if it makes a big impact.
The Fighting Fury Belt, not a card that you see in every single list, but Naohito has chosen to play it here, and it may end up giving him an advantage in this final championship. What about Sebastian's deck? Is there anything interesting, anything kind of different off the wall about it?
It is actually a pretty straightforward Buzzmole Lycanroc deck, playing the 3 Buzzmole and 2 Buzzmole GX, as well to go with the 2-2 Lycanroc. He does only play 2 B-strings though, so it could be something to watch out for if he's forced to discard those early with Professor Sycamore or Ultra Ball.
It'll be very interesting to see which player can take it home here. Players are getting set up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the prize cards of Naohito.
All right, doesn't look too bad there. The strong energy might be a little bit of a liability, especially being in the top part of his prizes.
And for Sebastian here, we see Remoraid, Floatstone, Energy, Max Elixir, and a Rockruff.
Well, luckily for Sebastian, he does play a 2-2 each of that Lycanroc and Octillery, so those being in the prizes won't affect his play too much.
All right, so good prizes from both players, neither of them being particularly unlucky, and it looks like we are just moments away from beginning here and crowning a world champion. The actives are flipped, the handshake is good, and now Naohito is kicking things off. We are going to crown a world champion.
Yeah, let's get hype. This matchup is gonna be fast. Both players just capitalizing on very aggressive damage output from both of their Pokemon.
The Buzzmole Lycanroc deck, very aggressive, very straightforward. I know the choice for a lot of the players in the Masters division as well. We see a Buzzmole GX, Energy, and Pass from Naohito.
Yeah, so this matchup is kind of a little bit weird because Buzzmole Lycanroc as a deck doesn't really need to do much setting up early game. As long as you keep drawing your energy, keep drawing some Pokemon to attack with, you're pretty fine with your setup the way it is.
We do see Naohito just attach and pass the turn. We're going to see a couple more plays from Sebastian, though. And Ultra Ball looks like it's going to find his own copy of that baby Buzzmole non-GX that you see on your screen there. Tell us about this card's role in the matchup.
Well, ever since this card came out, it was kind of innocuous. They didn't really know, like, I don't know if this is going to be good. And then all of a sudden, just burst out on the scene. I think Chris Leandro was very popularized with the deck. And Now we see 3 of them. It almost overtook Buzzmole GX completely. And it's just Sledgehammer is an amazing attack, being able to deal 90 extra damage if your opponent's at 4 prizes. And it just combos so well with Beast Ring, and the Max Elixirs help speed up the deck so much. We really can see just insane amount of damage output from Buzzwole.
You see a really important card in the Buzzwole Lycanroc deck, that Brooklyn Hill, just letting you search your deck for any basic fighting or water type. So it can find your Buzzwole, it can even find your Buzzwole GX as well as your Remoraid, of course. So really important for getting things set up and boosting that consistency as we see Sebastian use its effect now.
Yeah, one thing of note is that since both players are playing the same deck, Brooklyn Hill helps Naohito just as much as it does Sebastian here. Especially with the kind of start Naohito put forward with just Attraction and Pass.
That Brooklyn Hill does find Diancie Prism Star, one of the additions to this deck that just helps it go over the top with that damage output.
Yeah, now with the strong energy in combo with that Diancie Prism, that Buzzwole is doing 70 damage turn 1 with Sledgehammer.
Here's another card in the deck, Max Elixir, very important for accelerating your energy. Look at the top 6, take a basic, but he's actually going to miss. Max Elixir is, of course, not a guarantee.
Yeah, Max Elixir is one of those important cards to hit on your first turn because that allows you to set up a Lycanroc for later on in the game. Otherwise, you really just play this one attachment per turn here. And
looks like he has another shot at it, though. Once again, top 6, looking for a basic fighting energy to attach to that rock.
And he finally hits it. That is very important here because Dangerous Rogue is such a powerful GX attack, and it really would limit Naohito on the bench he's able to play.
All right, so 2 energy attached. The Brooklyn Hill has been activated. Diancie is in play, and it looks like we are going to go to attacks here. Sledgehammer.
Yeah, looking
all weekend.
Looking from the first turn, Sebastian's definitely pulling ahead here. But Naohito still just needs to play that game, the waiting game.
Naohito now plays a Diancie Prism Star of his own, strong energy. Brooklyn Hill, like you said, kind of a double-edged sword as it's going to help out both players, potentially get Naohito out of a rough situation. He's going to find a Remoraid, hoping to evolve into an Octillery as early as next turn.
Yeah, Octillery definitely super important, especially when both decks are so aggressive. N is going to become a factor late game. And Octillery is your one way to combat that.
So as Cynthia here from Naohito, he's going to shuffle his hand into his deck and draw 6 fresh cards. What is he kind of hoping to find here out of the Cynthia?
Honestly, he pretty much has almost everything he needs. A Rock Ruff would be pretty great, but he also needs to keep in mind his bench space because a single Lycanroc and an energy could take out that Buzzwole GX on the bench.
So we see both players choosing to kind of open with and start attacking with that baby Buzzwole. Is that how you see this matchup playing out? Is that the main attacker that both of these players are going to be focusing on?
Yeah, so in certain matchups, you switch up your strategy depending on what they're playing. Like against Zoroark decks, it's actually beneficial to start with the Buzzwole GX early, have them knock it out, and then just go aggro Sledgehammer. But in this mirror match, you're really going to try to make your opponent take 3 knockouts to take 3 prizes, and then you kind of just go off from there.
It looks like that Cynthia did not grant him anything he can use immediately, so he is just going to respond with a Sledgehammer of his own. 70 damage on turn 1 for both players.
Yeah, the biggest thing for these players are if they can play around that Sledgehammer turn. When you force your opponent to go to 4 prizes, it feels amazing when you're playing Buzzwole.
Tapu Lele, Wonder Tag ability getting activated. Going to go ahead and search through Sebastian's deck for any supporter that he'd like. Looks like he's going to take a Cynthia. Tapu Lele just helping the consistency of the deck, drawing more cards and finding what you need at the right time.
Yeah, it is unfortunate for Sebastian here that he was forced to play that Tapu Lele down because it does become a liability, especially when you're trying to force that 4 prize game.
So we mentioned that Naohito wanted to find that Rock Ruff earlier, but he chose not to get it with Brooklyn Hill, and he just didn't draw it off to Cynthia. Is that going to be important? Like, is this backbreaking for him? Is this something he doesn't really mind? It can come out a little bit later and be okay?
He definitely has time. So while I say this matchup is pretty fast, it's just pretty fast in what they're going to do. It's actually kind of a grindy game because you'll take these knockouts on these regular Buzzwoles, And then, all right, well, I guess I'll just take a knockout on another regular Buzzwole, just keep going. It's not until late game where we're going to see the fireworks of those big GX knockouts.
All right, and 6 fresh cards for Sebastian here. I see a Buzzwole GX. He definitely has some options.
Yeah, Beast Energy in his hand as well. That is one card that is very good at swinging this matchup depending on how you use it. Remember, you only get that one copy since it's the Prism Star card.
Each player only going to have 1 usage of Beast Energy. It looks like Brooklyn Hill is going to find a Remoraid of Sebastian's own, just saying, all right, I'm going to put this Remoraid on my bench. It will become an Artillery before too long, and that'll help smooth out my draws in the late game and hopefully lead me to a World Championship.
Yeah, and it will take a knockout here with that Buzzwole in the active spot, taking the first prize and putting himself in a good position, but Naohito could come up and maybe with a strong energy even start jet punching here.
Attachment for the turn is going to be placed on that benched Buzzwole. Maybe? Looks like he's changing his mind. Going to touch a Beast Energy, actually.
Yeah, this is one thing where if you know your opponent's deck, it's definitely helpful. We saw, I think, Ahmed in the Masters Division previously this weekend play Enhanced Hammer in his Buzzwole Lycanroc. No sort of tricks here. So that Beast Energy is pretty safe on that Buzzwole on the bench.
All right, Sebastian Enriquez 1 prize closer to becoming world champion. Buzzwole GX becomes the active Pokemon for Naohito. We mentioned earlier that you wanted to start with these, non-GX Buzzwoles. Is there any? Does the Buzzwole GX kind of go over the top here? Is it an advantage to have it in this spot, or does Naohito still want to focus on that non-GX Buzzwole?
It's definitely going to be a liability right now, but it does have the possibility of bypassing that Sledgehammer turn, because he could Jet Punch here, soften up this Buzzwole, and then try to cobble together a kind of 2-hit KO in one turn.
Brooklyn Hill does find that Rock Ruff like we talked about a little bit earlier. Now Naohito fully set up, threatening Bloodthirsty Eyes and perhaps Dangerous Rogue GX as early as the next turn.
Yeah, and this is one thing that is beneficial for Naohito right now is his bench is only 3. Lycanroc, Bloodthirsty Eyes is not that threatening, at least right now.
You see a Field Blower getting rid of that Brooklyn Hill. Naohito has said, all right, I'm activating Brooklyn Hill. I'm going to get it, but I don't want you to have it anymore. And let's get rid of that Float Stone as well. Super Rod putting that non-GX Buzzwole back into Naohito's deck.
Yeah, this is the one thing, though, with that Buzzwole GX active, if Sebastian does... Oh, new sleeves,
Whoa.
folks.
All right, we're cleaning up a spill on the play area. Players perhaps getting a little bit too excited. Shouldn't be a problem, though. It's not like they have the same color sleeves or anything. Nothing will mix up. Everything should be okay.
All right, there we go. Remember, they have tiny hands.
Unlike Buzzwole GX.
He has big hands.
Sure does. And there's a Sycamore. 7 fresh cards for Naohito.
Oh, discarding that Beast Ring, though. It could be trouble later on in the game if he's not able to find the rest of his once Sebastian takes his next couple of prizes.
I think both of these players are on 2 Beast Ring, or is that just Sebastian?
It does look like both players are on 2 Beast Rings. Really just kind of like, if I get 1, that's good. So all I really need is 1 when the time comes.
Right, and Ultra Ball does find Octillery, the card we've been talking about for this entire match, really helping both players able to smooth out their draws in the late game, make sure they don't get hurt too badly by ends or anything like that. That is going to hit the field, and here's a Max Elixir of Naohito's own. Saw Sebastian miss on 1 Max Elixir the previous turn. Let's see if same fate. Yep.
No. Max Elixir not proving very fruitful here. Not being able to attach extra energy to that Rock Ruff on the bench.
A pretty standard split of 9 basic energy for each player. So unfortunate to miss the Max Elixirs there, but the attachment has gone down. He has the Buzzwole GX in the active position, and of course he gets to draw a few more cards here with Octillery's Abyssal Hand.
Yeah, he's actually had an unfortunate turn for himself energy-wise, discarding an energy off the Sycamore, having the Ultra Ball away another energy, and having another one in his hand. It kind of makes sense why he did not get the energy off the Max Elixir, at least.
We have seen that new Regirock that we were just talking about hit the field. Is that looks like Sebastian gonna ask for a translation on that just to make sure he knows exactly what it does. But is that going to affect the matchup very much?
So it essentially does 10 extra damage if it has a choice band attached to it than a regular Buzzwole. So it could come in handy, especially against GXs. It really pushes forward that extra amount, but it's kind of dwarfed in comparison to Buzzwole, especially when your opponent starts taking more prizes.
We're still going to focus on the Buzzwole plan, but we have that Regirock as a backup. We see not quite a knockout here. That big Jet Punch just putting that Buzzwole up to 120 damage, then softening up the Remoraid on the bench.
Yeah, I do not see the Brooklet Hill in play, though. Neither player plays, or did he field blower?
Yeah, he field blowered on his turn.
That makes more sense.
He got an activation of it and said, all right, I don't want you to have access to this anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it.
All right, and Choice Band coming down, Sledgehammer for 100 damage. That's exactly what you want to see from your regular non-GX Pokemon. But unfortunately did not get that Octillery in play.
No, he didn't really do much of anything with his turn, and he's going to get Bloodthirsty Eyes here. That Diancie is
Morning,
not long
chat.
for this World Sycamore. 7 fresh cards, and Naohito has taken over control of this game.
Yeah, I actually like this play a lot. He's really gonna try to set up avoiding that 4 prizes from Sebastian.
So even the junior plays
Here's
good
one of the
deck.
cards that is actually not included in Sebastian's deck, but is in Naohito's deck, that Fighting Fury belt. We talked a little bit earlier, but just go over that again. How is that going to affect the matchup?
So the interesting part is Fighting Fury belt's mostly played for the HP. Here, it's pretty good because it adds 10 damage no matter what active Pokemon you're against, instead of Choice Band, where it adds 30 damage to only GX and EX Pokemon. So here we actually see, even though there's no strong energy, the Diancie Prism.
I ended the stream. I wanted to watch this.
Okay, está bien.
Against Sebastian's Diancie, and then with Jet Punch,
Them juniors going in strong, bro.
Remoraid, and then next turn could take 3 prizes on
Diancie. You see this kid like walking down the street, and you'd be like, yo, you wouldn't even know.
Position Naohito's Lycanroc GX.
Yeah, so here he needs
that could basically like wreck everybody right
knockout,
now.
I believe.
Pretty much.
And no, first one Tails, 2 Tails here.
Second one Tails.
160 damage. Swing around, not able to do enough here.
That's the risk that you can take when you flip coins. That Lycanroc still on the board. No prizes taken for Sebastian.
Yeah, if Naohito has a Guzma, he can do the exact play he set up last turn and take a knockout on Diancie and the Buzzwole.
Not only will that knock out 2 Pokemon, but it'll also kind of skip what we've been talking about, the Sledgehammer and Beast Scream turns, as Naohito will go down to 3 prizes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he actually has it in his hand. I don't think he does, but the real question is, can he limit his hand down enough to Abyssal Hand into 1?
Looks like that's what he's trying to do. Is he's going to Ultra Ball, getting rid of a Buzzwole and an Octillery. Already has 1 of those each on board. Probably won't need the others throughout this matchup.
Yeah, unfortunately, not able to play down. Oh, wait, no, I was actually going to say Tapu Lele, but there's no Tapu Lele in Naohito's deck. That's pretty huge. Piloting this deck and just like, nah, Octillery is fine. Lele is a liability. I'm just not going to play it.
We talked about how big of a liability in the mirror Tapu Lele can be, so Naohito may be pre-prepared for this.
He next leveled
matchup.
All of us.
Here is another Max Elixir, and it looks like this one is actually going to find an attachment. Real quick before he does it, where do you think this energy is going to go?
The Buzzwole on the bench, the regular one. Being able to kind of just set up different attackers. That Buzzwole GX has 100 damage on it.
You guys got more knowledge than most people do.
Buzzwole, if it sticks around. If not, it still gets knocked out by a big Sledgehammer if he just takes 1 prize this turn.
Looks like Naohito is going to disagree with you a little bit and go ahead and Max Elixir onto the Regirock, but
he's still attached to the Buzzwole anyway. It's fine.
He kind of just has it all here. Strong on the Buzzwole. Another copy of Fighting.
All right, does he hit the Guzma off that Abyssal Hand?
Oh. Damn.
I believe he would have slammed it if he did, although maybe eyeing down the bench.
Eyeing down the bench. That's
body
a good
language.
sign.
No, All right, so he's not going to be able to do the fancy play of taking the two-hit knockout, or taking the two knockouts rather, this turn. So what do you think the plan is from here?
Okay,
He might
stream.
just Dangerous Rogue here.
With the
Essentially
lag.
sacrifice.
Refresh.
Bring up that Regirock.
All right, well, here we're going to see an Enhanced Stomp instead. Fighting Fury Belt boosting Enhanced Stomp to 40 damage base. And then with the belt and the Diancie, that is now 70 damage, which is a two-hit knockout on this Buzzmole.
And action is back on Sebastian. He still has that Buzzwole with
Yo,
him.
they did so much
play.
card flipping and switching. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Sebastian can put
It's pretty
together
much the
here.
same,
Players tied
the same
at
game
5 prizes here in game 1.
since
Yeah,
the
there's
dawn
a
of
lot
day.
of damage on the board for both players. It'll be interesting to see how they navigate the rest of this game.
Looks like we're going to see another big coin flip. Tails swing around.
Heads. All right, not enough here to take the knockout. Only 150 damage, 10 short of the knockout on that Regirock.
Once again, needed double heads. Once again, did not get double heads off that swing around.
This is exactly what Naohito wanted here. And this is where those two Fighting Fury belts are putting in work.
All right, Naohito now down to 4 prize cards, advancing his state in the game, but also perhaps turning on some interesting.
Is head even numbers?
Yeah, but if he really wants
Ed
to
is Ed is even.
attack with that
Okay.
Buzzwole on the bench, really a liability, especially against Jet Punch. Naohito could just take 2 prizes in 1 turn and bypass a full turn of B-String.
See that Rockruff getting sent to the active position. He already has 1 energy on it from an earlier turn. We know that Sebastian has another energy in his hand. Looks like he's considering an Ultra Ball. Is Lycanroc the likely target here? Is that what's going to come down?
I don't know. Let's see. He does have a B-String in his hand, as well as a Buzzwole GX and energy. His hand's not looking too hot right now, but that B-String could help him out huge.
He does choose to attach to the newly benched Buzzwole GX. Like you said, he also has that B-String, one of the liabilities of being at 4 prizes for Naohito.
So he could have a big turn here. Ultra Ball getting the Lycanroc, retreating the Rockruff into that Buzzwole GX, and then Bloodthirsty Eyes the Lycanroc on the bench and take 3 prizes here, kind of just saying, you're never going to get to use B-String.
So that may be the plan. There is the B-String, really powerful item card for these Buzzwole decks, for these Ultra Beast decks.
Yeah, just being able to attach 2 basic energies to 1-year Ultra Beasts on the field, it's always insane when you get to attach extra energy. We see how popular Max Elixir is, but this card's just in a whole nother level.
Yeah, definitely. It's not very often we see the ability to attach 3 energy in a turn, even more if you have multiple copies of B-String. But there it is. That Buzzwole GX hit the board this turn, and now it is fully loaded up with 3 energy thanks to that B-String.
There we see the retreat. Unfortunate that he has to manually retreat that Rockruff. Dangerous Rogue is an attack that you really want to just have in your back pocket.
It looks like he doesn't have enough cards in his hand to actually Ultra Ball. But he will take the knockout on the active Regirock with both players at 4 prize cards remaining. So now again, B-String turned on for Naohito. We saw him get rid of one of his copies early, but Sledgehammer also doing more damage now.
Yeah, unfortunately, this Buzzwole GX might not stick around too long. A lot of heavy hitters on Naohito's side of the field. Choice Band coming down on that Buzzwole as well, meaning it's doing 190 damage. Guess how much HP Buzzwole GX has?
It's like a interesting Choice Band Fighting Fury belt split there, kind of saying, all right, I'm just going to play both, and hopefully they'll come at the right times in the right situations.
They have come at the perfect times for him this game.
6 cards for Naohito here. Are we gonna see a Dangerous Rogue finish off this Buzzwole?
No, the Buzzwole on the bench actually does 190 damage with Sledgehammer.
So there is that Brooklet Hill coming down. We saw Naohito get rid of Sebastian's earlier in the game. Now he's like, all right, maybe I'll get something, but it looks like he's just going to go ahead and decide against it. And here is that B-String. So B-String playing a huge role in these decks, and for both of these players, only getting 1 energy, was it?
Yeah, 1 energy for Naohito. Sebastian did get 2, but that's Naohito's last B-String. We're not going to see another one for the entire game.
Thank God. B-String is busted.
Artillery really helping the draws of Naohito here, only for a single card.
And this is the big turn that these players have been waiting for. Sledgehammer, 190 damage, going down to 2 prizes, leaving Sebastian with a very heavily damaged board.
2 prizes remaining. 1 GX knockout will be the game. We have that Dangerous Rogue GX attack still active. No energy on the Rock Ruff for Sebastian, so we won't see a Dangerous Rogue out of him. We have some Max Elixir shenanigans. That was just a great turn for Naohito.
Yeah, he got exactly what he needed. But now Sebastian is trying to cobble together, saying
they want to be the Pokemon master.
There's still a way it can win, and there's a lot of damage on Naohito's side of the board as well. Playing those 2 Buzzmole GX is pretty sweet.
Absolutely. See, considering what to take with this Brooklet Hill, looks like he finally decides on a Buzzmole GX, filling his bench, putting another big GX threat on the board, hopefully trying to claw back into this game. He'll need to take 4 prizes before Naohito can take just 2. Does have Max Elixirs in hand. We're going to see the first one fired off here. Let's see if he can start accelerating his energy.
Yeah, also looking for a Lycanroc here, so he just does not lose to the Buzzmole coming off the bench.
We did see a Lycanroc in those top 6, but we did not see any basic fighting. So that first Max Elixir is going to miss.
That's not what you want to see here. Does he have an energy in his hand? It does not look like it. And this is where we see the Remoraid getting knocked out earlier, really affecting Sebastian's draws here, having an Ultra
Okay,
Ball
Nintendo,
and a
get your
Brooklet
stream
Hill
on
in
check.
and not really much else to play with.
And not really much else he can do. Both Max Elixirs miss. He has no way.
I'm gonna switch to
fix his hand at all. He just
the
goes.
YouTube stream.
Both Max Elixirs miss. He has no way to draw more cards. He has no way to fix his hand.
Hopefully this
Just
doesn't
goes
skip
ahead
because
and
Twitch is
attacks.
skipping like crazy.
70 damage.
Wow.
Not at all what
a
he did.
single Guzma here from Naohito will win the game and put him 1 game away from becoming world champion. Does he have it in his hand?
Put them together here. Does not appear
Oh no.
that he does right now.
Damn.
So Sebastian stays alive for another turn here.
He bricked.
Looks like Brooklet Hill and Naohito just going to go ahead and look through the cards remaining in his deck. Not very many.
Did you even see Guzma in there?
No, I don't think so. I didn't quite get
Even the
all
kids
cards.
know what's good.
8 or 9 left.
Buzzwall.
Let's see what he can do with this turn. Still in a very commanding position, even if he can't finish out the game. There's a Buzzwole GX. There's no attachment.
And there's an N. I actually like putting down the second Buzzwole there, and it really just threatens another Jet Punch, because then you don't even need a Guzma. You can just, I'll put 30 damage on the Diancie, and then
Yo,
next
N
turn, it's going to get 30
is the
damage again
worst, best card
And
ever.
coming down, Naohito will only be drawing 2 cards, but
It
of
can
course
help
gonna
you
miss at the
out.
end up
They'll-
at the 5.
Oh, fuck you
Kind of
over.
unfortunate that it does reset Sebastian's hand there. We knew that it wasn't. He didn't really have much going on, but still 4 cards is not all that many. And Naohito just realizes that he needs to press his advantage as much as he can, so he's going to get 5 cards after the Abyssal Hand.
All right, and there is an Ultra Ball as well. Failing the search, just getting rid of those cards in his hand that he doesn't really want. Professor Sycamore is kind of a liability when your deck is 7 cards or less.
He's not going to be playing any of those cards for the rest of the game, so he might as well get them out. They're not even options.
Getting rid of
for
that
getting into
artillery
some
is
risky
crucial.
end situations. We're going to see a retreat into that Buzzwole GX.
That way you bring your
Yes, I
opponent
like
down
this.
to your level.
Saving the big heavy hitter on the bench, Jet Punching with just that basic energy, and the writing is on the wall for Sebastian here. Can he pull something together?
I don't think he can make
One
a
prize
comeback,
remaining
but
for
can you saw that
very
crazy Malamar
fine,
comeback yesterday?
1 game up in this World Championship Finals. We see a Buzzwole GX facing off against one of his own, another energy. There's the Lycanroc that Sebastian has been looking for all game.
Yeah, so he'll have to Bloodthirsty Eyes something and hope it's
There we go. Yeah.
stuck active. And then next turn, cobble together a Guzma and another Jet Punch to try to steal this one out from Naohito.
That's exactly what he does. Bloodthirsty Eyes brings up the Artillery, hoping to leave that in the active position before Sycamore draws 7 new cards. There is an Artillery of Sebastian's own, but of course that Remoraid was knocked out earlier in the game. That will not be having much of an impact on this game if I had to guess.
All right, there is that Jet Punch dealing, should be 7
Remoraid, I mean Remoraid. That Artillery stays in the active. It's gone
there
next.
is the Guzma.
Doesn't
It does
matter.
not matter. And a single Jet Punch will
got
take
him.
the game for Naohito here. Like I said, 1 game closer from becoming world champion.
The minute he took out his
did see
Artillery,
Sebastian
he just lost
kind of
speed.
Make things a little bit close there with that big knockout on the very last turn, but that Guzma spelled defeat for him as Naohito advances to 1-0. That was just a dominating performance by Naohito.
Yeah, he was
A lot
able
of
to get that
Vulpix.
big sledgehammer turn to take a knockout on a fully powered Buzzmole GX. And it was kind of just all downhill from Sebastian for there.
And it seems like taking an immediate advantage and then getting rid of that Remoraid so that Sebastian didn't have any access to Artillery. It showed the difference in what you can do when you have access to an Artillery and your opponent doesn't. We saw multiple turns of Sebastian just having kind of an anemic hand, not really doing much. Playing a Max Elixir and missing, not being able to put things
I wonder if their
together.
deck list is
We'll
the
have to
same.
see. Sebastian will be going first in game
I
2.
usually
We'll
wonder
see
this
if
when
he
like
can put
you
together,
see mirror
tie
matches,
things up,
if its deck list is
World Championship.
exactly the same, or if like
Naohito playing
someone
that game
played a spicy
pretty
tech or something like that.
conservatively,
That's always
just
interesting
really
to know.
setting up those knockouts for later on in the game and really picking and choosing which big knockouts he wants to take.
It's very clear that both of these players, they're in the finals of the World Championship. They've made it this far. They're very experienced with their decks. They're very experienced in the matchup. We saw that out of Naohito in particular. He was kind of setting up these knockouts like you were saying.
Your boy
trying to
came
play
in
around
sandals.
those Sledgehammer and B-string turns. Wasn't actually able to do that, but he's showing a lot of awareness about the matchup and the format.
Yeah, this is definitely not their
Persona?
first Buzzmole Lycanroc mirror match that they've
Fortunately, I
seen
never
this
played
tournament.
Persona,
A very
so
popular deck this weekend.
don't know what you're talking about.
Absolutely. One of the big decks going into the tournament in the Masters division. Is not actually involved in our finals, unlike the junior division here for the Masters, but is one of the big decks in the format and will continue to be. Players have presented their decks. What needs to go differently for Sebastian here if he wants to tie things up?
Getting that Artillery and making sure it is safe. We saw just how powerful Naohito was able to go through his deck, essentially just drawing the right cards at
That's
the
so
right
weird.
time, like that Fighting Fury Belt, that Choice Band. And we saw just Sebastian
This
kinda
thing didn't
stumble
tell
late
me you
game,
were hosting
not
me.
really having much in his hand.
All right, taking a look at Naohito's prizes, 2 energy, supporter, a Buzzmole. On the other side, now we have
It
that
did it?
single copy
Nah,
of Tapu Lele.
but the notification didn't pop up.
Elixirs
Two
as
Max
well,
Elixirs.
and 2 Guzma.
Oh, good. If it's auto hosting, I don't think.
Players are off.
Oh,
Potentially
okay,
just
that
one more
way.
game
Makes
before
sense.
we crown a world champion in the junior division. Sebastian going first. Remoraid in the active. Baby Buzz on the bench. And looks like a Sycamore.
Yeah, a big Sycamore here, and flipping over a card. Was that off the top or?
I didn't quite see. But Brooklet Hill is also in play, and then a Sycamore for 7 cards.
Right, it'll be interesting to see what he actually had to toss off that Professor Sycamore.
They should play
He
the
does find one of his 2
Pokemon
Max
theme
Elixirs
song
in his
when
deck
one of them was
here.
about to win.
It'll be a very important turn for it.
Second non-GX Buzzwole on the board. Turn 1, Brooklet Hill activation. Looks like that's going to find a Rock Ruff.
Yo, these guys' deck look nearly
Again,
identical.
one of the best early game targets for that Max Elixir to put the energy on. Really, it's your only 2 energy attacker.
Yo, he's
early
so
game.
focused.
So when you want to threaten it, that's
He's like, you
putting
would
so
not
much pressure on your opponent.
beat me today.
We've already seen
Look at his face.
will be attached to. So now we're just saying, all right, I'm going to have 1 energy on this Rock Ruff. Hopefully after this.
I will
Max
come
Elixir,
back and win
and then
2
you
games
never know when
straight.
a dangerous rogue is
You don't
gonna go, and
understand
there's
my
energy like the Rock Ruff.
determination.
No.
Max
Ah,
Elixir is going
that-
to miss. We have not seen Sebastian's Max
Yo,
Elixir
missing
very
a Max
timely in
Elixir
this
is the most
That is a
depressing
rough
thing in the world when you
farm there.
really need it.
Max Elixir is one of those cards that is very high reward, but also very risky
Wow.
to play in your deck.
We've already seen the supporter play the energy attach. We're going to pass the turn back to Naohito.
And capitalizing on his opponent's Brooklet Hill yet again, eyeing down possibly that Buzzmole GX.
You need a
We know
haircut,
he
my
has
guy.
that strong energy in hand. Could he have a Diancie as well to take a knockout on that Rockruff?
The first action of Naohito here is going to be Buzzmole GX, the big GX Pokemon off of the Brooklet Hill.
See a strong energy Guzma in hand. So he does have the Diancie.
Yep.
With the Guzma, he'll be able to take a knockout on
Let me
the
see. I
Rockruff
think
while
it does
30 damage on this
50, 60.
What a first turn here
Damn.
for Naohito, showing his dominant position here.
Fighting has all the
power
tools.
of Buzzmole GX, all the fighting type support with strong energy. Diancie, that was an amazing turn. Let's see how Sebastian can respond. Beast energy.
Oh, you got work.
Non-GX Buzzmole of his own.
Yeah,
have fun.
He is gonna have to play from behind right now. Really hoping to
you got
find
like
the
what, 4 hours?
This is the same position he was in game 1. 30 damage on that Rem raid.
A full 8-hour shift.
Get that evolution, and it ended up just hitting the
At least nothing comes out today,
To
so
draw 6 cards.
you don't have to worry about dumb
Really
customers.
Octillery again. That was the whole narrative of game 1. Just keeping that Octillery in play would have been huge for him. Let's see if he can right his wrongs of the last game. With 6 cards, only 5 for Naohito, of course, after that turn 1 knockout.
You can definitely see the body language in Naohito shift to a more aggressive stance here.
See, he's going after his Rem rate early. He knows what he's doing.
This starts great. I'm so close.
There's a Diancie of Sebastian's own.
That was a close call there. Judge coming in at the last minute for the save. Dealed out 6 cards, but he took that turn 1 knockout, so he only gets 5 off that end.
Yeah, really common, I think, to just assume that early game ends and draw 6 cards, but no harm, no foul there, as Naohito does have the correct amount of cards in hand. Brooklet Hill looks like it's going to get another copy of Rockruff. Looks like he was debating a little bit between Rockruff and Emerald.
Yeah, it's definitely an important Pokemon here in the mirror match, but the real question is, does he have that Octillery in his hand? It does not look like it. So yeah, we just see the Sledgehammer. It will be a pretty big Sledgehammer, 100 damage thanks to Beast Energy Strong and that Diancie, but this Rem raid is going to get knocked out.
That is so strong.
Yeah, a lot of damage modifiers there as we move in to Naohito's turn. We're seeing a Brooklet Hill activation of his own. He has been she was in control almost the entire time in game 1. He took an early knockout here in game 2. He seems confident.
Excuse me.
Do it here. He's going to take another knockout this turn.
Yeah, it'll be
your boy's pinged out, man. Look at all those pings.
Damn. Lycanroc GX here. Could
He's
just take
pinned out,
another
yo.
knockout on that Rockruff and the Remoraid and just bypassing 4 prizes completely.
It's like Fighting Fury Belt going to boost the HP of that Buzzmole GX a little bit. There's an energy.
And he has the Guzma. Energy retreat the Rockruff, and this is
Yo,
one
he
of the most
is
dominant board states I've seen in a Buzzmole like
Yo, he's destroying Sebastian.
Similar play to last turn. There's a double knockout. Naohito now is at 3.
Wow.
He is halfway through.
Like he's going for the
game.
threats. I mean, sure, the buzz was doing damage, but
You're gonna have no Sledgehammer.
if he gets rid of his draw power and then his potential Lysander, and then he got nothing to worry about.
Energy to the active and swing around if he wants to take a knockout on this Buzzmole. But the bad thing about that is, if Naohito draws a basic fighting energy even, it could just take a knockout with Sledgehammer of his own.
And we are seeing an end here. So again, no Octillery in play for Naohito. He only really has that one attacker on the board. So this end could spell trouble for him as he's only getting 3 cards.
Yeah, it'll be very important to see if he draws an energy to attack with next turn, because then this Buzzmole will just get knocked out right away.
I see the only way I see Sebastian making a comeback is get his Octillery out.
But meanwhile, on Sebastian's side, he did draw one of
get
his
another
2
Buzzmole
and the other Max Elixir, the last one in his deck
and Beast
right now.
Ring.
Gonna have a lot of
Oh, he has one out. He could Beast Ring
here with those item cards, just thinking about exactly what he wants to do.
But this is the turn where Buzzmole doesn't really. It's not the best late game attacker. You really want that Buzzmole GX here.
like he is gonna use Brooklet Hill to find a Buzzwole GX.
Buzzwole GX determines it's based on your opponent's prize cards, right?
At this point in the game,
or is it yours?
You might have
Forgot.
to
Let me
have
see.
this Buzzwole
I
GX
forgot.
survive for the rest of the game to take
Buzzwole
it.
GX.
That is what's found off the Brooklet Hill. We do know that he has a few more options here. Looks like Max Elixir will be the first play.
And
good sequencing there.
I love this sequencing by him. That's where you know these players
Or
know
damage
what they're
reach
doing.
your remaining.
Max
Oh,
Elixir
this is your
getting that
remaining.
basic
So you
fighting
can't even
first
plus
Final
off of
Max
it.
Elixir hits Sebastian getting a little bit lucky there. There's the Max Elixir. There is the B string, 2 energy. Going to go onto that Buzzwole GX.
B string with comebacks.
All right, so this is a pretty productive turn for Sebastian, but he is down 3 prizes here and playing into Naohito's big sledgehammer turn.
I think Naohito already played 2 Guzmas.
There is the knockout. Sebastian
If he plays 4, he only has to worry about 2 more. But Sebastian, oh, he has a prize.
Board for Naohito. Let's see what he can put together.
Yeah, he actually drew the perfect card, a card that he can discard without having to worry about it in that Regirock, because he had a B string in his hand, which is now
that
live.
luck sack.
So getting the Octillery, B string to your guy, make sure you get the energy.
Yeah,
and then
so Sebastian's in such a terrible
cards.
spot.
Well, it never feels good when you end your opponent with 3 and they just have it all. He has the Octillery. He's gonna
like Naohito's just been dominating the whole entire game.
This B string. Wow, what a very strong turn by Sebastian, but then a huge response.
Yeah, and I actually like the B string for just the basic fighting here. You don't need more than that. You'd rather save your energy for your Max Elixirs, for your other Pokemon on your bench, like that Rockruff.
There is the B string. He's also going to use Brooklet Hill. Just while he's shuffling, going to get another Rockruff, put that directly onto the bench.
Man, this has been a clinic put on by Naohito here in Game 2. Those first few
Naohito just was not letting him breathe, man.
Damn, the luck of the damn.
Get an Abyssal hand for
The
5
luck
here.
of the draw.
A full hand of cards for
You should have seen yesterday. People were top decking Jesus all
bunch
day.
Of supporters. That's all you really can ask for here. His board position is so dominant right now.
Choice band on the Buzzwole on the bench. We're going to see Sycamore drawing 7 new cards. So this has not been a problem for him at all. Cards are not the issue. There's 7 of them.
All right, there we see a Max Elixir from Naohito here. Is he able to get it? It could go on to that Rockruff, but no.
He is going to miss. No extra attachment off of the Max Elixir there.
Yeah, that is a little bit of unfortunate.
Max Elixir Beast Ring, it's ridiculous, man.
If
you imagine if fighting got a Aqua Patch, that'd be ridiculous.
Well, but I don't know if there's enough basic fighting energy in the deck to actually utilize it. Yeah, there's 1 from the prizes. Man, down to 2 prizes, 2 prize cards away from becoming the
They're not even bad prizes
World
either.
Champion here in 2018.
Like, he can play without those.
Knock out a GX Pokemon like that Buzzwole that is becoming active now.
Yeah, at this point it's like cheap change.
Energy.
Yeah, it's like, yo, Naohito, he's
Alright,
good.
So both players will have protection from these ends here in the late game.
Yeah, it is awkward right now because you kind of want to play a Guzma to take out that Octillery, but you also need to end your opponent. Can't do both. This deck is very powerful in the sense that it usually does because of Lycanroc's Bloodthirsty Eyes ability, but those Rockruffs were targeted down so early by Naohito that he just does not have any access to them.
And it looks like we are going to see the end here. 4 cards for Sebastian, 2 for Naohito. Octillery is going to change those numbers a bit. So not going to be devastating for either player. What is Sebastian looking for here off of this end?
I'm surprised there isn't at least one Regirock.
Anything for the rest of the game.
Makes sense. Naohito very close to becoming world.
And then again, one DNC covers it anyways.
In the match, and give himself a shot at becoming world champion as well.
Yeah, and
for Sebastian,
I see.
Oh no, just the Buzzwole deck. I was just curious. 2 Guzma in hand.
For the knuckle impact here and not really get punished by having it be stuck active. Although Absorption GX is an attack that gets worse and worse as the game progresses.
Attaching the choice band is not even worth it either.
Getting flipped? No, maybe.
All right, yeah, just chooses Knuckle Impact. Sees his hand, he's like, it doesn't really hurt me anyway. And yeah, 3 Guzmas in his hand right now.
That's crazy.
Prize cards remaining for Sebastian. There's a strong
Your boy is ready. He can swing.
Yeah, I think this Brooklet Hill's been more beneficial for Naohito this entire match, this entire series, than it has for Sebastian, and it's his card.
He's got a huge advantage off of it. Of course, when you're playing the mirror match, both players have access to it. Both players want the card in play. And we saw that turn 1 Brooklet Hill really helping out both players. But you're absolutely right in that Naohito has been able to make better use of it, as it's going to find a Buzzmole GX of his own this turn.
Yeah, and remember, he still has the Beast Ring left in his deck. It'll be interesting to see if he has the energy to actually utilize it and if he draws into it.
All right, we see an Abyssal hand for 3 cards.
Doesn't look like a pretty good 3 from here. A couple cards that he could actually discard with Ultra Ball.
Yeah, those Brooklet Hills are not going to be coming into play anytime soon, so those are going away with the Ultra Ball. Finding any Pokemon he wants, looks like he's going to find a Lycanroc GX.
Oh man, Lycanroc GX coming out finally. Bloodthirsty Eyes, such a powerful ability. It's an ability that we've seen in the Pokemon TCG time and time again, that it's always been played.
Because Lysander is amazing.
Kind of decide which Pokemon is going to be active for your opponent has been incredibly powerful. Looks like he's not going to play the Lycanroc. He's just going to go ahead and take it, and he's going to Sledgehammer for 100 damage.
Yeah, not too shabby. 100 damage Sledgehammer. Your opponent's not at 3 prizes, or not at 4 prizes.
Just 90 HP remaining on this Buzzmole GX. If that Pokemon does get knocked out, that will be the game and the match and the World Championship for Naohito.
And this is the awkward spot right now. Since Sebastian Knuckle impacted last turn, if he wants to do the Guzma play that he wanted to reset his attack, that Buzzwole is just on the bench ready to go to take the knockout on that Buzzwole GX.
That is what he's kind of forced to do here. You see the Guzma bringing out the Buzzwole GX, an attachment onto the non-GX Buzzwole. Floatstone helping Artillery move freely out of that active position.
Yeah, and he is just hoping Naohito does not have access to his own Guzma. He has the Lycanroc to bring up the other Buzzwole GX, but no way to retreat this Buzzwole GX in his own active spot.
And Sebastian just looking through the discard pile of Naohito, saying, how many Guzmas have you used? What's your Floatstone count? Just seeing how many.
It is important.
There's nothing worse than losing in prize cards
we do see
and not being able to do anything about it.
Damage to that Buzzwole GX here. Big turn for Naohito. Let's see what he can put together.
Yeah, he also does have, I believe, oh no, yeah, Floatstone as an out as well.
Looks like he was considering using Abyssal Hand for fewer cards than if he were to use the Lycanroc ability. Looks like he's debating between that now, but he's going to go ahead and just use it now. Bloodthirsty Eyes bring that Diancie to the active position.
Yeah, so this is kind of a catch-all because Guzma is your one out to win. If you don't get it, you leave a big retreat Pokemon in the active spot.
And it looks like he didn't get it. Cynthia and Max Elixir were the draws there off of the Abyssal Hand. We're going to see one of those cards come into play now. Max
going to hit.
Top 6. Will he find an energy? We've seen both players struggle with this throughout the game. He does find a basic fighting to attach to potentially that Buzzwole. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and put the second energy on that Buzzwole.
All right, kind of his first stumble this game, not really getting that Guzma here. Pretty much got everything else.
You see the Cynthia, again, no Guzma.
As long as Naohito does not get a Guzma, Sebastian's in a good spot.
Staying in this game, but is going to need some action to it.
Because he could just Guzma something, knock it out, and then he won't get Guzma, and he's gonna bring something. He's gonna put something out with a Flowstone.
He can at least Jet Punch here if he chooses.
And then if he has to, he can Guzma again. He has 3 Guzma, so he's good.
Could come into play, boosting that Buzzwole's HP. Remember that Buzzwole on the bench for Sebastian.
All right, he's at 80. Going to go ahead and attach a basic fighting to the Lycanroc GX and simply pass the turn. No way to move this Buzzwole out of the active position. And the action is on Sebastian.
Now now he's kind of stuck at this point too, where he's forced to use his own Guzma, but that Buzzwole is still the guy he wants in the active spot to deal the most amount of damage.
Sebastian does have some options here. Guzma may be coming down. The only real way I think he can move Diancie. Can't quite see the entire contents
I
of
mean,
his hand.
he can Guzma and get a Rockruff out, right? Get the Rockruff, yeah.
He says, which one do you want? He says, I'll take Rockruff.
Get the Rockruff, retreat, kill the Rockruff, and then
no risk of getting
that Buzzwole will kill his active if he has enough damage. And then he just brings it back and gets the two prize cards with the next kill.
Net in energy form, no.
Does not. Wow, Sebastian
that's true.
Unreal bad luck with those max elixirs this game. This round, rather.
All right, it'll be interesting to see what he chooses to do here. He does have the option to take a knockout with that Buzzwole, but it just puts it in harm's way, and that is essentially throwing away the finals.
He's going to
there it is.
Yeah.
Back into that.
Play it safe. You just bring out the one prizer.
50 damage on the
Oh, I didn't knock it out.
The next card, the card that he wanted, but there is the Guzma. Dangerous Rogue will take a knockout on that Buzzwole GX.
And that's it.
Naohito is your juniors TCG World Champion 2018.
I mean, he had the play, but he didn't have the damage.
Dominating performance in the first game. Struggled a little bit in the second game, but you just saw the look in his eyes right when his opponent attacked. He was attach my strong, Guzma up your GX. That's it. Naohito Inoue is your world champion in the TCG Juniors division.
That's juniors, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think I've seen like a better first few turns from a Buzzwole like in Rock Deck.
Like Naohito was punishing him for
navigate the mirror match. They had both
not setting up that quick, because every time he put the Remoraid out, he knocked out the Remoraid. Every time he put the Rockruff out, he knocked out the Rockruff. He just was not letting him get any advantage.
They're smiling, happy to be crowned world champion. That's what everyone came here for, and only one player in each division gets to claim the title.
Yeah, and he is